The Nerazzurri, famously, those wonderful colours. The 18 times Italian champions in a glorious history. Chelsea in a change strip, all white, but all right last season for them. A little bit of ground to make up in this International Champions Cup. All about building for the future, as Antonio Conte told us in his interview for Chelsea. And a week tomorrow it will be Wembley Stadium, not this national stadium in Singapore here, as they meet Arsenal again in the Community Shield, the official curtain raiser for the new campaign proper in England. So not long to wait now. In a sense, this is Chelsea's final dress rehearsal for that. Fairly intense week from Inter's point of view. This coming just 2 days after that game against Bayern Munich. But two good results on the board for Inter. And a good start to life under their new boss, Luciano Spalletti. Those results for Inter, incidentally, meaning that Chelsea need a 2-goal victory to deny Inter the trophy which is on offer here this evening. Great respect between the two coaches, who've had a long conversation, the two Italians, at pitch side during the warm-ups here this evening. Cahill again, captaining Chelsea. João Miranda for Inter. So let's check the teams for you. It's a very strong lineup both ways. David Luiz in to the back three for Chelsea here. Fabregas and Kante, who struggled in the first half against Bayern, are paired again in midfield. But perhaps the most intriguing question here, how will Antonio Conte seek to deploy Michy Batshuayi and the new signing Alvaro Morata? Inter have unearthed a couple of exciting youngsters on this tour already, but in the main Spalletti goes with experience here. Daniele Pedelli has arrived from Torino and he starts in goal here. The young centre-back Milan Skriniar came in for 25 million from Sampdoria. Borja Valero from Fiorentina, and up front the accomplished Perisic and Jovetic, both looking very sharp in the absence of Mauro Icardi. Mr. Sukhbir Singh takes charge here. And underway here in the National Stadium in Singapore. Chelsea from left to right. I'm delighted to be joined by Keith Andrews. Keith.
Thank you, Paul. Really interested to see how Chelsea get on. Struggled in the absence of Eden Hazard. Diego Costa obviously missing for very different reasons. I think the 3-2 scoreline to Munich the other evening really flattered Chelsea. Very much second best. Inter Milan have had a good, solid pre-season. Spalletti's vast experience seems to be oozing through this squad.
Another of the new boys, Antonio Rudiger, among the Chelsea substitutes here today. But no sign just yet of Timuri Bakayoko. Played forward by Luiz. A little look for the goalkeeper, and Pedelli got that right. Certain question marks Keith, I think, over Handanovic at the moment for Inter, and in different series of performances from Inter's established top goalkeeper.
Well, it's a huge opportunity for Padelli. Spalletti's clearly got a lot of confidence in him. Handanovic has been the number one for many, many years now.
And the number one among these substitutes here. Played forward by Skriniar, and it's Chelsea opened up all too easily. Candreva's in here, deflection on it, and Courtois had to react very sharply. He might do again here. Desperate stuff here for Chelsea. Marcos Alonso helping out there, but Keith, they were all over the place.
Well, this is a carbon copy of what we've seen against Bayern Munich the other evening, defensively, which was very, very surprising, considering all of these players played last year. And it's Alonso. Look at his recovery run again, Alonso. Candreva comes inside, and David Luiz does remarkably well. I think it's Cahill who gets the block eventually, but it's really, really poor. Luiz does well. Courtois, to be fair to him, scrambles it with a good hand, but yet again we're seeing defensive frailties from Chelsea.
And there was Conte before kick-off saying how well he was seeing his team develop tactically. The thing that mystifies me about this, Keith, Chelsea are not inventing a new system for this season. They're playing exactly as they played 2/3 of last season so successfully.
And you can understand in the final third, Morata getting up to speed. Batshuayi was very much second fiddle in the centre forward stakes last year. They are missing Hazard, they are missing Pedro, Costa, so you can forgive that little bit of clinicalness in the final third, but it's defensively where they were so strong last year. And all of these players, this is the back three stroke back five, they played so well together last year.
Victor Moses, Spalletti's already out tinkering with his Inter side here. As meticulous as Conte is, he's cut from the same cloth, isn't he? Here's Willian for Chelsea. Beats the first man all too easily. A little bit of a Brazilian samba about that from Willian. Easy in the end for Padelli.
It's the first time Willian's had the opportunity to really get at this Inter back four. It's too easy. Past Valero. Nagatomo comes over, uses his pace, gets a little block. Batshuayi tries to get it goalwards, but it's comfortable for Padelli.
One back by Gagliardini, and here comes Candreva. Well, they back themselves in a tight area. Jovetic then with delicious little bit of skill. Borja Valero. Back to Nagatomo. Must be hugely encouraging, Keith, to the Inter supporters, I think, that throughout this tour so far, they have looked to be on equal terms, trading with some of the big clubs who will be in the Champions League next season.
Well, they've gone toe-to-toe with them, and they've come out on top. They've been very, very impressive. He's tweaked things ever so slightly in terms of the team selection. Systems remain the same in terms of that 4-2-3-1 that he does prefer. And they've been very, very bright and started this game in the same fashion.
Two very successful spells, of course, at Roma behind him. 5 years in the end at Zenit St. Petersburg, and of course he came to prominence at Udinese when he built a really good team, very, very hard-working team before that. Handpicked by the new Inter owners for this big, ambitious project. Flat and wide in the end. Gagliardini had the swipe at it. They're hoping to build out a whole new fan base out here. They've done well on this tour so far, Inter, and I think Conte would acknowledge that.
And of course Conte was strongly linked to move to Inter Milan himself only a few months ago. His whole transfer contract situation, thankfully from Chelsea fans, he has signed that contract.
Candreva. Cahill's head. Candreva again. Gagliardini joining in. Hits this one, and pretty much like the one a moment ago, it's a bit of a swipe on his left foot, isn't it?
Just doesn't quite connect with it properly, but again, it's Inter Milan being on the front foot. Candreva, real quality. as Azpilicueta comes out to put him under pressure. Just can't quite find the contact needed to trouble Courtois.
Incidentally, David Luiz replacing Andreas Christensen in this back three here for Chelsea today. Christensen has come back to Chelsea after 2 years on loan at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Willian, that's excellent pace, isn't it, from Skriniar. Did he get a little push as well?
Well, Willian's asking the question. I think there was very, very little contact. Skriniar read that particularly well. On a couple of occasions they have got into those areas. They have looked bright when they fed the front three. Playing quite narrow. You wondered would he go with Batshuayi and Morata as a front two, with maybe Willian behind, but it does look like a narrow front three.
In to get that one as well. Nagatomo. Under the sole of the boot of Borja Valero, says Fabregas for Chelsea. He was looking for Alonso. Alonso's getting in there now, but didn't exactly put on the turbo charge to get forward then. Willian. Batshuayi got there almost, and so too Morata, and he's going to give away a free kick here, Morata. Settling in stages for him, of course, Keith. Morata.
Yeah, very much so. You have to get up to speed. I'm sure training has gone up a notch. Valero uses all his experience there, very little in it.
Interesting that you should say that, and of course these tours are as much about the training they're doing in between playing the games, and all these top clubs working very, very intensely. But many times ex-professionals tell one, when a big name player comes in, it just makes everybody else step up their work in training sessions.
I think for a club like Chelsea, they need that type of signing. Just galvanise the whole squad. Certainly with the Costa saga that's ongoing. And look at the rest of the big boys in the Premier League. The Man Cities, the Man Uniteds, the way they're spending. I think the arrival of Morata has been a very popular acquisition.
Well, by their own standards and the standards of the era, it's been a fairly mooted period for Chelsea in that respect, hasn't it? But he's pure quality, this fellow. Here he goes, Morata. Out to Moses. 4 in the box here for Chelsea. Cross didn't come in. Azpilicueta, Marcos Alonso wanted it all across the face of Inter then, and it didn't come, and it broke down. Forward by Gagliardini. David Luiz read it well. Fabregas trying to hook it over the top, too much on it. Padelli's going to... Well, Skriniar didn't wait for him, actually. They haven't played together, you see, Keith.
To build up those relations. So in fairness to Skriniar, I think he's absolutely right. Take absolutely no chances. How often have we seen those scenarios where neither end up dealing with the ball? It was a good ball with Fabregas. Chelsea just settled a little bit.